And we would have had people from England, but they're sleeping right now. So there were people way over there as well who wanted to join us tonight. So that's really encouraging to me. We do have about 20 people or more who wanted to be on the call tonight and could not make it because of previous, what's the word in English? Previous commitments.
Yeah.
So a shout out to them as well, and we will be sending them the replay link so that they can watch this. So welcome to each one of you who has joined our Zoom meeting tonight. This is a huge and exciting time for Light and Salt Ministries, and we are honored that you've made time to be with us, and we recognize that. I'd like to start by giving honor where it is due, something I was taught to do from a very young age. And I want to give a word of special honor to Peggy Hegbar. Peggy, can you just raise your hand and give a little wave to everyone? So
yes.
If you all don't know, at the top of your screen, there's a blue arrow and you can kind of go to the left and go to the right and see who else is on the call with us tonight. So Peggy Hegbar is the founder of the Legacy Club Partner Program. I want to give a shout out also to our board of directors who are always along for the ride and willing to be daring and adventurous with me. I want to give a shout out to our former trustee, Maria Reschke, for editing the paperwork involved in this program, and Jared Giesbrecht, our lawyer in Fort St. John, for the legal backing that he has given us. Thank you for all the work that you've donated, Jared. Nicole Becker, thank you for the creation of our Legacy program brochures and for ordering them as well. So now I want to share a little fun fact, and I've shared it a couple times now over the last couple weeks because it is a fun fact that just has me completely tickled pink. And that fun fact is that with the creation and launch of this program tonight, we are moving up the scale just a little bit, and we're now running with some big dogs, some big guns like Ducks Unlimited, the Cancer Society, and BC Children's Foundation, just to name a few. Those are some of the programs, some of the organizations that offer these kinds of things to the people involved with their organizations, and so now we do too. I want to give glory to God for all that He has done, and we are coming up on a really special anniversary in January of 2021. That will be one of the questions for the door prizes, just so you all know. And I just need to say that this entire time of service in the country of Nicaragua, we have never once had to suspend, put on hold, or cancel any one of our programs because of a lack of funding. That means we owe a huge shout out to our current and past donors as well, ministry partners like many of you on the call tonight, and a big shout out to all of our committees, the fundraising committee for all of their hard work and dedication, to our grant writer, Karina Toes, and our expansion committee for the expertise in the current expansion build that we've got going on. So as you can see, this takes an entire team of people to make run. So before we go on any further, we are going to hand this over to Stella Udoser for our first door prize. And by way of introduction to Stella, Stella is a freelance marketing specialist who has actually been on the ground here in Nicaragua at Light and Salt Ministries in the month of April 2019. She stayed for close to 2 weeks with a team of people she brought down here. And Stella filmed and produced our current Light and Salt Ministries promo video, which if you haven't seen, I would encourage you to hop over to our YouTube channel and have a look at it because it is amazing. And as the night goes on, I will put her website information in the chat box. And if any of you need any help in that area, I would encourage you to give her a ring. So Stella has now recently joined up, and she's helping Light and Salt Ministries with our marketing needs. And she is donating roughly 50% of her work by donation. So Stella, thank you for that. We appreciate you. We love your work. And I'm going to hand it over to you now so you can do door prize number 1.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that introduction, Tara. And honestly, it's my pleasure to be a part of what Light and Salt Ministries is doing. I believe in the mission. And so I am happy to be here with you all. And hoping to have a fun night. And we're going to kick that off with some door prizes, like Tara mentioned. And so kind of the way this is going to work is we have a few questions lined up. And I'm going to ask you all to pull up your chat box right now. And I'm going to ask the question. And the first person to type in the correct answer will win the door prizes. Can I get a thumbs up from everyone if that makes sense? All right, I see some thumbs up. Awesome, let's get rolling. Okay, so our first door prize is this beautiful set of 6 handmade cards. They all have different greetings on them, so you have some variety there. And we're gonna start with our first question. All right, so how many programs does Light and Salt Ministries currently have on the go, and what are they? So I'm gonna give you some time to figure that out.
There you go.
Okay, so go ahead, you guys, and type into your chat box. I am the one monitoring the chat box, so let us know, what programs does LASM currently have on the go, and what are they? We're looking for the names of the programs. So we'll give you a couple minutes. If anybody knows them, you can start typing them in.
Woohoo!
Okay. So first we have Maya Wanger. She says we have 3 programs. 1 is food for the community, 2 is a boys' school, and 3 is a ladies' sewing course, which is actually right. So Maya, you are going to get the first door prize. And with that, we are going to ask you to please stay on the call right till the end, and we will get your mailing address from you. And those will be sent out either from Victoria or from Ohio. Okay, so way to go, guys. The 3 programs that we offer are the boys formation classes, the Triumph Women's Sewing course, and the Mercy in Action, which is food for the community, the elderly, and persons with special needs. So way to go, you guys.
I'll give an honorable mention to Wally over there.
Yeah.
Wally, for getting the names right for
That's right.
all the programs.
Way to go, Patty.
Awesome. Good job. All right, we got one more door prize before we begin. And this is another set of 6 handmade greeting cards with different messages as well. All right, so in what countries is Light and Salt Ministries registered as a charitable organization? What 2 countries?
Quick on the draw, I think, for this one, guys. Anybody knows it? Go ahead. Maya, she says Canada and the US, but Maya, we're sorry this time, that is not correct. Then we have Karina Toes. Karina says Nicaragua and Canada. So we're going to give a round of applause to Karina. This is how we're going to clap tonight on the call. So way to go, Karina. You are going to get yourself this set of 6 handmade cards.
Again, make sure you stay on till the end of the call so we can get your address if you want a door prize.
Congratulations, Karina. Congratulations, Maya.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to hand it back over to you, Tara.
Okay, thanks for that, Stella. Okay, so at this time, I am going to give an introduction to Peggy Hagbar, our legacy program founder. Peggy Hagbar's first career was 22 years in the dental industry, chairside assisting, office managing, and then teaching diversified health occupations at a vocational high school for 4 years. In 1988, Peggy became an independent insurance agent in the state of Ohio with licenses in all aspects of insurance. She completed over half the courses at the American College Bryn Mawr, PA for her Chartered Financial Consultant designation. From 1990 to 1995, worked with Empowerment Technology Corp of California, traveling the US conducting teen and adult empowerment trainings. From 1994 to 1997, completed training to become a Reiki master and has had a Reiki healing practice for over 26 years. For over 10 years, she helped her pastor lead a service of healing at her church. Peggy is a 38-year member of Trinity United Church of Christ in Wadsworth, Ohio, where she has been a member of council, deacon, and elder, and currently chairs the mission team. In 2004, Peggy completed training with the Sacred Art of Living, In 2004, Peggy completed training with the Sacred Art of Living Center in Bend, Oregon, earning her mastery in the Sacred Art of Dying. She has served for over 25 years on the board of the Blessed Foundation and taught classes on Zentangle, the Medicine Wheel, Walking the Labyrinth, and Dances of Universal Peace. She assisted Dee Kirchie, co-founder of the Blessed Foundation, in writing and teaching life book, Connecting the Journey of Living into Dying. In addition, Peggy is an artist, a published author, a poet, and a musician. So we wanted to just give that introduction to Peggy because Peggy is the founder of the Legacy program that we're launching tonight. And she's also going to be the one who's handling the interaction with those people who want to become club partners and that type of thing. So we wanted you to get to know a little bit more about her. She's extremely apt for the task. So Peggy, I'm going to hand it over to you and you can continue on with a little bit more of your testimony.
Thanks, Tara. Yes, if you don't know, today is Testimony Tuesday with Light and Salt Ministry. So I thought I would give just a little bit of my testimony before we started. There were two very significant incidents that happened in my young spiritual journey. The first one was about the age of 7 or 8 after a week of vacation Bible school, when I felt the call of God to step out of the pew into the aisle in response to an altar call. And the second one was when the organist of our church asked our mother if she could work with the 3 of us girls and be a music coach for us. And she coached us for several years as a trio. We became the Bowles Sisters Trio. And I'm happy to say that we are still blessed, even today when we don't get together very often, to share the love of God through song. In my early years, I would say there was, well, after I was married, let me start there. After I was married, and I was married to my first husband for 13 years, and I took my vow very seriously. But I was in a position like many young adults are, where I had kind of strayed away from the church. It was the lowest of the low in my life. And there were days on days for a whole year, every day, twice a day, that I thought about committing suicide. And it was something I would never want anybody to do, but I've talked with Tara about it, and she has said to me, believe it or not, that there are a number of the boys, as young as 12, who have talked with Tara about the possibility of committing suicide, and many of the single moms or widows also struggle. The thing that kept me from committing suicide in my 30s was my faith and my family. And what I can say about Light and Salt Ministry is that they become the family support for the people that are involved in their programs, and they are the ones that help grow the faith of these individuals. So not only are you supporting the programs, but you are literally saving lives. God spoke to me about my marriage and finally said to me, even though I'd said a vow, until death do us part, God said to me, if you stay in this marriage, you will be the one who is dying. And God lifted the guilt off of my heart and gave me the permission to end my marriage in a dissolution. After that, God sent to me a gentle, loving, kind man, 30 years my senior, who became not only my husband, but my mentor in many things, and certainly my mentor in the realm of the world of finance. HR insisted when we were getting married, he didn't want to buy me a ring. He gave me $1,000 worth of a small stock company. And that was my first foray into investments in the financial world. Every Saturday morning, we would sit around the dining room table, no computers, all by hand, and we would review stocks. He taught me how to look for stock companies that would be good to invest in, and helped me every year to produce an annual net worth statement, which at the very beginning was zero. When I was in the dental profession, they did not have retirement funds for staff. So even into my mid and late 30s, I had not saved one penny towards either retirement or even a nest egg. But with HR's help, my financial situation started to change. In the mid 90s, our church went into a building campaign fund, and I was asked to be a member of that. And I said, all right. And we had our first meeting, and so we were trying to raise over $200,000, which in the 90s was a pretty substantial sum. At least it sounded like that to me at the time. And somebody suggested that we try to get 10 or maybe 15 people who would pledge $5,000 to kind of lead the charge and help encourage people to pledge to this Project 2000. After I got home from that meeting, I clearly heard God say to me, I want you to give $5,000 to the church. And I kind of gasped. I said, what? I mean, I don't have that kind of money. The only place I do have it is in my investments. And God said to me again, I want you to give the church $5,000. And almost holding back tears, I said, okay, I will give the church $5,000. But you have to promise me that you will take care of me. This is the money for my future, but I will give it. In December of that year, as HR and I sat around the table and did our net worth statements, I put down that I had given to the church $5,000. And lo and behold, when I did my net worth statements, God had given me back $30,000. That's when I realized that you can never outgive God. It had felt really good for the first time to contribute a substantial amount of money and contribute to something that I knew would outlast me. And so in those early years, I began to think about the world and what kind of programs did I want to support. And at that point, I picked 5: the World Wildlife Fund, the Nature Conservancy, Southern Poverty Law Center, Greenpeace, and the Sierra Club. And I supported them through the years, but all the while, I'd known Tara since she was 12, since she was a good friend of our niece and lived with Carolee's family for at least 1 year. And I'd been contributing to Light and Salt Ministry along the way, but never substantially. But the more that I became involved with it, the more lives I saw being changed, the more I wanted to be involved. And so here we are tonight, launching our legacy program. So thank you. So Stella,
Yeah.
are we back to a door prize?
We are. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Peggy. That's so moving. And even for me, I can't say that I've given up to $5,000 to the church, but I have seen God return my investment when I invest in organizations in different ways. And it's a beautiful thing, and to just honor him and trust him with our sacrifices. So that's really beautiful. And thank you.
Thank you.
So yes, like Peggy just mentioned, we do have another door prize. So we have another set of 6 handmade cards, and I'll go ahead with our third question of the day. In what year did Tara Germain leave Canada as her primary residency, and where did she go?
Beth, you are quick on the draw.
Woohoo!
But where did I go, Beth?
Question.
Oh,
You need to finish the answer. Honduras. Beth, you got it. So Beth, you are getting the third door prize of the evening. I left Fort St. John. Karina Toes, 1864 is not the answer. I did not go straight to Argentina.
right.
To Honduras in 2009, and that was the best choice of my entire life. So way to go, Beth. Thank you for knowing a little bit about my story and how I got started out.
Congratulations, Beth. Again, stay tuned till the end of the call so we can get your address to send you these beautiful cards. So I'm going to throw it back to you, Peggy.
Okay, so this is the big launch of the program. So as I mentioned in my testimony, I became involved in with those 5 organizations, and over time, each of them did have a legacy partner program, and I had joined. 2 years ago, in doing some research on the charitynavigator.com website, I discovered that more than 2 of those organizations were paying their executive director and founders over $700,000 a year in a salary. And my heart immediately said to me, if they can afford that, they don't need my money. So because I'd stayed involved with Tara and Light and Salt Ministries, 2 years ago, I posed the question to Tara, had she ever thought about establishing a legacy partner program? And she said no. So we've been having a 2-year conversation with the board to get one going. And that is where we are now. Now, one caveat as we start this tonight is that Light and Salt Ministry cannot give either financial or tax advice. And so we recommend that if you're going to start something like this, that you actually consult a qualified advisor for your specific situation, what your children are, how much money you have, and all of that needs to be looked at closely. That being said, the Legacy Partner Program with Light and Salt Ministry is very simple. We designed it with a 1-page document where either an individual or a couple can simply fill out this top information that's here: name, dates of birth, address, and then below that, you can tell us about how you would like to give your gift. And there are about 8 ways here, and there are probably more than that, but some of these are easier to do than others. So anytime you're dealing with a will or a bequest or an endowment, or if you're dealing with a revocable living trust or a charitable remainder trust, those are going to probably require that you visit an attorney. So you're going to have some legal fees involved. Some of the rest of these are very, very simple. For instance, being a beneficiary on a life insurance policy, or an RRSP, RRIF, an IRA, transferring mutual funds. These only require that you go see your insurance agent or that you contact your mutual fund company, and they will send you a form that allows you to transfer beneficiaries however you want to do. So it's very simple. So the question that we have now is, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind? And how do you want to be remembered? Your legacy manifests in every life you touch. And it's just not the lives that you touch, it's the ripple effect that a legacy like this leaves, because every boy's life that is changed, every single mom who becomes able to support herself, that ripples out to their children and their family members. And so the lives that you touch ripples out to touch even more lives. And you don't have to be there in order to do this. You can reach lives through the arms of the on-ground staff and the volunteers. And I absolutely love this picture of Tara with this sweet woman who is a part of the Mercy in Action program. It touches my heart every time that I see it. So the programs that are available, you are teaching boys in the faith formation class to mature and grow so that they become faithful fathers and husbands, and they can contribute as citizens of their country. You are giving hope to the elderly and those with disabilities when they have no one else to count on through the Mercy in Action program. It's about teaching skills to single moms and widows, catapulting them into the economy and the workforce of Nicaragua. It's also about breaking cycles of poverty and directly combating hunger. And along with that, you are helping to carry the gospel of Jesus Christ to Nicaragua. So I'd really like to have you just think about what your legacy in the world is going to be. And I'd like to, at this point, open up the conversation. If this has stirred anything inside you, you're not unsure, we're gonna do some question and answers. So if you'd go back to your chat boxes, and I'm gonna have Tara, I think, facilitate this. I don't have all the answers. I'm not a genius, but I do have some of the answers. If I don't have answers to your questions tonight, I promise I will get your name and I will get an answer for your questions. So are there any questions?
Lobby music.
You can either type any questions that you have in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask your question. I do have a question from someone, and their question was, Peggy, if any of these options in our legacy program offer you an immediate tax break, or if they offer you a tax break when a loved one dies.
Yes, there are many ways to do that. One of the ways, and there are a number of ways that can be done, there is such a thing called a charitable gift annuity. So that is a life insurance product. What that does is you gift, and usually they have a minimum, I'm gonna say $10,000. That's what I have experienced in the past. They have a minimum $10,000 annuity that gets set up. You gift that money so that you get the tax break for that immediately. and you are paid an annual distribution from that for your lifetime, so that you have some income as benefiting you, benefiting the organization, because they get the annuity after you die. So there's that way. Also in Canada, unlike in the United States, where our wonderful president has just raised our tax threshold, and we are not allowed to claim on our taxes unless we give more than $20,000, and then you can start. So if you're giving on a weekly basis to your church or small amounts, we can't claim anything. In Canada, for the first $200, you can deduct 15%. So that's $30 out of 200. Anything over $200, you can deduct 29%. So this is straight off the Canadian website. So let's say that if you donate $300 to something, of that first 200, you get to donate, you get to take off your taxes, your taxable income, $30. And on the second 100, you get to deduct $29. So for a $300 donation, you can deduct off your income $59.
So if I understand that right, Peggy, if there was not a donation involved, then that $59 would be going to tax anyways.
You would have to pay tax on that money. So this is not, when you do give small gifts like this is not that you can deduct $59 of the money that you owe in tax. You can, when you get down to the end of, you have a net earnings, you can take that $59 off of your net earnings, so it reduces your tax that you have to pay, but you can't deduct $59 from the taxes, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. I think one of the best ways that you can gift is through appreciated stock. So let's say that I bought a stock in a company for $50, and that stock appreciates to $100. If I sell that stock, I'm taxed on the extra $50 that it earned. But if I gift that stock to Light and Salt Ministries, I get to deduct the highest value for the gift, and I don't have to pay that tax. So that totally eliminates tax on money that you've earned in a stock market. You don't have to pay that.
Okay, there's a question here that says, will LASM be taxed? Will Light and Salt Ministries be taxed on the money?
I don't think so, because you're a nonprofit organization, right? You don't pay taxes, do you? Light and Salt Ministries doesn't pay a tax.
No, I don't believe so.
No. Yeah, because like our church, and Louise is our treasurer, our church doesn't pay tax. They probably have to fill out a tax form, but I don't think there are taxes involved in nonprofits. No.
Okay, let's go over to Tim Carter. Can someone unmute Tim Carter, or unmute yourself, Tim, and go ahead and ask your questions?
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but no, any money that comes into Light and Salt Ministries, however it comes, we don't pay tax on it.
Right. Okay, good. That's what I
As
thought.
long as we're within good standing with the CRA, which we are, and we maintain that, then we are tax exempt.
Right.
Anyway,
Thank
thought
you.
I'd add that. My question, and I typed it in, but since I'm here, I can ask, can an RRSP be set up, and I'm going to use in general terms, as a RRIF that I would have? Can I transfer that to Light and Salt Ministries and have it continue to give and support itself as we move?
I believe you can. I think that you can actually transfer that money and still have it stay in its form.
Yes.
When I was talking with a financial, because I called a financial advisor in Fort St. John to get some Canadian information, since I'm in the US and all of my financial and insurance business has been in the United States. But he said that a lot of times people with let me just make sure I get this right, RRSPs transfer them into an RRIF.
Yes, that's correct.
Is that correct? Okay,
That's correct.
And that's what he said. So I think that that fund could be transferred, and because you can name beneficiaries
That's
on
correct.
on RRIFs.
That's right. Once it's in a RRIF, it's an income fund. It's not
That's
just
right.
an investment fund. It
Yes.
continues to grow with the investment. However, as I have several RRIFs, I have one government RRIF that I'll never use it in my life. I can't, because it's locked in by the government, and it makes as much money as I take out of it, and if not more. And I can't. I'll die, and it'll probably be within a couple $3,000 of what it was when I instituted it 5 years ago, because I can only take 6.8% of it out.
Yes, exactly.
That's it.
I have one that was left to me by my late husband, Colin. He had a property in Toronto, so I was back and forth between Toronto and Ohio, and that money is still in our RBC in Toronto, and I just get out of that the minimum. I take the minimum that has to be taken in a year.
Yep.
And the money still sits there.
Yeah.
And that was the best way.
Yep, I get it. I've got a whole bunch of that going on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's move on. Maybe we'll do one more question and then we'll move on. At the end of the call here,
I think it's important that this little conversation for people that are listening. Yeah.
Yes.
It's important to see that their money can be reserved.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm not sure what you mean by that. Money can be put in an endowment fund. Is that what you mean, Tim? Does anybody know what he?
That's not what I was saying. I say I had a $20,000 RRIF. Just use that number.
Okay.
Sitting there, and I'm getting whatever I get out of it. Say I'm taking 10% a year, and it's making 10% on its investment. And I transfer that or give that, however, to under whatever auspices to LASM. And with the, and I don't know what it would be called, could that just be transferred into their name as an investment, and then the 10% that it makes, and the 10% I'm taking off, sent to them?
Well, yes, but that simply becomes then a donation, because unless you actually transfer the $20,000, it would just be like giving to your church every week.
Well, but they would transfer the whole, they should be able to transfer the whole fund.
Yes, that's a different story. Yes.
Mutual fund, call it, right? And
right.
That way, that mutual fund could be cash there that would continue to give for years and years.
Right.
Or as long as that fund.
Yeah, as long as the money,
I believe that's possible.
That's right.
I'm not sure. I was asking.
Yes, it can.
So yes. We have another question here from Maya.
That's all.
Says, thank you, Tim, for your question, and thank you for that bit of information. We have another comment here from Maya. She says, so in Canada, giving to this fund has the same tax benefits as giving to our church. So that would be yes, Maya. And you had another question on there. You said, can we contribute small amounts on a regular basis or sporadically? So Aunt Peg, can you address that?
Absolutely, you can. I think that kind of giving is a little bit different than what the legacy program is designed. The legacy program is really designed for larger gifts or gifts of property or things of that nature. But obviously we want people to continue to donate to Light and Salt Ministries. So I think the biggest problem that people often have with tax, and I know that Tara, you were talking about that earlier to me, is when someone dies. And when someone dies and property or money in accounts go through probate, anything that goes through probate is going to be taxed bigger. And especially property. If you have a couple and the husband dies, the property can be transferred to the spouse tax-free. But when that spouse dies and the kids are getting the house, that entire value of that house is taxed. Even though they don't sell it, they have to pay tax on it as if they were selling it. So that's where a lot of tax problems come in. But this financial advisor did tell me that Canada has what's called a final tax benefit. And when someone dies, they are permitted under the Canadian law to give up to 100% of their taxable income away to a nonprofit. And then they don't pay tax on anything if they gift that.
Okay.
So I had never heard of that, the final tax option, but that is an option in Canada.
Okay. Thank you,
You're welcome.
Peggy. Okay, just because we said we were going to keep this call to 1 hour, and I do have a couple people saying that they're going to have to leave the call shortly, I think we're going to move on. And at the end, Peggy, I know that your email is going to be up on the
Yes.
screen on one of the slides so that people can contact you directly and get more information from you, right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so Stella, or
I think it goes to you for the presentations.
okay, great. So at this time, I'm not sure if everyone on the call knows this, everyone that's watching with us, but we actually have 3
Legacy.
legacy partners already signed up, and Peggy has the paperwork for each one of our first 3 legacy partners. So this is really amazing. We're just launching it tonight, and we already have 3 partners. So I am taking a moment this evening to present a certificate of recognition to each one of our first 3 partners. So legacy partner number 1 is Peggy Hagbar herself. So she both founded the program and was the first one to pledge to become a legacy partner and has since become. So Peggy Hagbar is a kingdom visionary and an inviting soul on so many levels. What first attracted me to Aunt Peg were her smile, the joy of God on her face, her singing voice, and her fun-loving personality. I remember many things like songs and laughter upon our first visits together up in Fort St. John, BC. Peggy is not only the founder of the Legacy Program, but also became the very first benefactor to fund a specific space in the future Light and Salt Ministries site back in March of this year. She has also helped our family with personal needs such as adoption costs and a vehicle to drive. So Peggy, on this special night, on this special occasion, please allow me the honor of presenting you with the very first certificate of recognition for becoming a Legacy Club partner. We know that your hard work in creating this program and your example of leading by becoming such a strong advocate for LASM will pave the way for those to follow. So a big round of applause for
Thank
Peggy
you.
Wagner. She is our very first Legacy Club partner, and we thank you, Peggy.
Thank you.
Legacy partner number 2 belongs to Carolee Norris. So Carolee Norris, my first memories of you are from my teenage years, and you know that, of course. That's when I got to know and become very good friends with your older daughter, Andrea. I then came to live with their family during my graduation year of 1998, and I spent a lot of time in their home. I remember how much I felt like a part of the family as I filled a chair around their supper table. Since that time, so many years ago, Carolee has proven to be an indispensable part of my personal journey as a missionary. Along with her late and beloved husband, Dale, they became responsible for paying off the student loan that threatened my ability to follow my calling to Honduras back in 2009. And it was there in Honduras that God showed me what would then become of the rest of my life. Carolee is as book smart as she is compassionate and holds not only a bachelor's degree in general studies and a master's degree in education, but a very special place in my heart as well. So Carolee, please allow me to present you with the certification of recognition in becoming our second Legacy Club partner. We thank you for investing in our future, and we know you do it with all your heart. So a round of applause,
Yeah.
Carolee Norris, our second Legacy Club partner. And our third Legacy Club partner is Louise Cook. And Louise Cook, just like her sisters, Peggy and Carolee, enjoys both song and fun. Louise and I have battled through a couple of games of Boggle, and even though I never stood a fighting chance, I was always up for the challenge, and she sweetly willing to entertain my efforts. Louise is a 30-year member of Trinity United Church of Christ in Wadsworth, Ohio, and is currently serving as treasurer and is on church council. Additionally, she is a longtime choir member at the church and the former mission chair. She taught critical care nursing educator for many years, mostly at the University of Akron in Ohio. So ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you a 3-year financial partner here at Light and Salt Ministries, a good and admired friend, and Light and Salt Ministries' third legacy partner, Louise Cook. Aunt Lou, it is my honor to present you with this certificate of recognition, and I thank you for investing in the lives of people at risk here in Nicaragua. We appreciate you so much. So a round of applause for Louise Cook. Those are our 3 Legacy Club partners to date.
Thanks, Tara. So now we are doing what's called the big ask. So the question is, will you become our next legacy partner? And may we put your picture here and honor you with a certificate for supporting Light and Salt Ministries. That's the big ask. We hope that this program has inspired you and that you will certainly consider becoming a legacy partner. Here's my information and how to get a hold of me. And the forms you can get on the website. Thank you, Carolee. Either on the website or you can contact me with your information and I will mail you the forms. So I think without further ado, we have the last big door prize.
Yes, we actually have 2 more door prizes and they're gonna go
right.
super quickly. So stick with us just a little bit longer. And so we'll go with it. So we have another set of 6 handmade greeting cards. So this is your 4th chance to win these amazing cards. So you better get your chat box open and we're gonna, oh, we got a hand up, Tanner. Tanner, do you have something to say? You can unmute yourself.
Okay, go ahead with the question, type it in or ask it, Stella, and then Tanner will probably type his answer into the
Okay.
chat box.
Okay, that works for me. All right, so here's our fourth question. All right, so how many years of service, including both informally as infantile Terry, and formally as Light and Salt Ministries, will we be celebrating this coming January 2021? So how many years will we be in January?
Oh, Virginia
Yay,
Hobb.
woohoo.
Quick on the draw. Virginia Hobb got it. It is 10 years. So good job, Virginia. We will send these cards out to you probably within the next week. So good job. I do see that Tanner put 11 years, and I will just, by way of confession here, let everyone know that I was doing my math wrong this entire time. And
Right.
I thought as well,
Was 11 years.
it was 11 years in January. But when we
That's-
were preparing for this call, I actually asked someone, can you just check my math here and make sure I'm right? And they said, actually, it's 10 years. So
Right.
Tanner, sorry for steering you wrong there, but you are right with 10 years.
All right, now it's time for our fifth and most exciting prize of the night. This is a beautiful handmade watercolor by ours truly, Peggy Hegbar. She painted it with her own two hands, so you guys
Right.
definitely want to get this correct, all right? So here's our last question of the day.
And it is the hardest.
It is the hardest. Who were the founding members of the original Board of Trustees? You got a little hint there. There are 5 people that you should be naming. We just need their first names and go for it.
Okay. If you have already won, go ahead and play again. There's no rules that just because you've won some cards, you cannot win a painting as well. So go for it. Who were the 5 founding members? This would be back in 2013-ish. So that's another hint. If you only know 2 or 3 or 4 of the names, go ahead and type them in. And we'll just see whoever comes up with the most names of the 5 people will win the painting. Maya has Tara. So when you're saying Tara, well, yes. So I'm the founder of Light and Salt Ministries. And after I worked under the umbrella of the Shelter Church in Fort St. John with Oral and Eleanor Bentrude, I created our own kind of entity. So that's when I created the first board of trustees. So my name is up there. Yes, I'm founder of the ministry, but we're looking for the 5 names of the first trustees of the first board ever for Light and Salt Ministries. So Trina says Tara Young and Oral Bentrude. One of those names is correct. Carolee says Eleanor Bentrude. That is correct. Maya says Carolee, Peggy, Peter, Hugenboom, and Tara. So I'm just going to give a little hint. One of the 5 people was and is named Tara. That's Tara Young. So we're going to give that to you. So, and one of those other names is correct. So Karina Toes, Peter Hugenboom, Wanda Peterson, Eleanor Bentrude, Les Elliott, and Tara Young. You are so close. Only one of those names is not correct.
Right. So who is that? Carolee? No, Karina.
So you just need to, okay, well, tell me when we're tired of playing this game here and when I should just spill the beans and I'll do it.
Right.
So close. Okay, I'm going, so if we
Are
leave
we
it
giving
here,
it to Karina?
if we leave it here, Karina wins the painting and we
Yeah.
finalize the night. We finish up the night. Okay, Karina Toes, we are giving you the painting because you got Peter Hugenboom, Les Elliott, Eleanor Bentrude, Tara Young, and Tim Braun was our 5th trustee on the founding board of Light and Salt Ministries. So Wow, you really brought it home, Karina. Way to go. I'm so glad that you were on the call tonight. And I'm so glad that you were all on the call tonight. And we thank you for making time. And I think that tonight was a success because you were here. If each one of you wouldn't have been here tonight, it wouldn't have been a success. So thank you for being here. Thank you for loving Light and Salt Ministries. And thank you for playing along. And we would encourage you to go ahead and email Peggy Hagbar, ask any more questions that you have. If you want to take the big leap and become our 4th legacy partner, then you will be getting a big shout out next year on our same call like this. But it's a really exciting thing to be a part of what God is doing. So thank you for being on the call. And with this, we have finalized the evening.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
But stay,
thank you.
those
Our
of
5
you who
winners.
have won, yeah. Stay on.
Everyone, you're welcome to log off now. Our 5 winners, just stay back real quick so we can get your addresses, and that's it. Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Hello, Stella and Peggy. Nice to meet you, even if it is here.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
God bless you all. Thank you for your effort. We
You
appreciate it.
too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
God
you,
bless.
Tim.
Thanks, ladies. That was very, very nice to see. And you know,
Thanks,
maybe
Tina.
I'll be one of the next members here.
Oh, yay. We would love that.
No, it was very well put together. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're
Thank
glad
you.
you were encouraged, and thanks for joining the call.
You betcha. Okay. Have a good night. Bye.
You too.
Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Night.
Good
That was
night,
fantastic.
Okay. So Beth, I need your, didn't you win one? Yes. So Beth, is Beth still on?
Okay,
No,
so
can you put screen sharing back on?
Yeah, take off the PowerPoint, Stella.
Take it off, you said?
Yeah, we want to be able to see everybody. There you go.